Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dante Elephante podcast, episode 68 with May Rio. I know what you're thinking. Ruben, where were you? It's been 2 weeks. We're lost without you. I don't know what to do with the rest of my life. Where are you? What do I do on Tuesdays when the Dante Elephante podcast doesn't come out? And you know what? I don't really have an answer for that. I wish I had an answer for that. But I would tell you it will all be worth it in due time. We are working on bringing the podcast back to being in person. I have some good guests lined up. I've reached out to a few people already, and I'm very excited. I hope everyone's very excited. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing okay. I've been busy. I've been really busy. Let's just talk about it, man. We're back. We're back to playing live shows. The Echo in Los Angeles, July 24th. That's a Saturday. It's an all-ages show. That means anyone can go. Your friends, your mom, your dad, your sons, like anyone. Literally, okay, I'm going too far now. Literally anyone can go. It's an all-ages show. The show starts at 6 o'clock, and we have a hard out by like 8 p.m. And then there's a later show, but we're not part of the later show. So I do like these early shows. As I'm getting older, I am an aging indie rock player, musician. I like the early show. The show will end by 8 o'clock. We'll drive back to Santa Barbara. Hopefully I'm in my bed by 11 p.m. That's my goal. And then I chill out on Sunday and celebrate a job well done. I don't really know, but I'm very excited. We haven't announced the openers yet. We're still figuring that out, and we have a bunch of shows lined up. We have a lot of shows. I can't wait to start announcing them. I don't even know what I can and can't say, so I'm not going to say anything. All I can say is that Saturday, July 24th at the Echo, Dante Elephante is back. We're live. It's been 15 months since our last show. No, 17 months since our last show. Put that into perspective. I played my last show when I was 29. I'm 31 now. Well, what happened? Where'd all the time go? So yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, man. I can't believe it. This pandemic aged me literally and emotionally and figuratively. And yeah, I'm excited. This is really crazy, man. Like I guess I've said this. I guess I've always been the optimist on these podcasts. Like I really felt like even in January we were on our way out, but I always said in April, May, June, we're going to start rocking by the summer. And here we are rocking in the summer. So optimist, but I'm patient. I love the patience. I'm all about the patience. And yeah, I'm excited. And now we can do the podcast face to face again. If you got that vaccine, go ahead, take off that mask. California is open. I'm still wearing the mask though. Still wearing the mask. 2 weeks ago, I was DJing in Ventura. Once again, I'm DJing in Ventura. Come on through to the saloon. I'm also doing some dates at the tavern. But I was DJing at the saloon, and some guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, how come you have your mask on?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. Coronavirus? Maybe you fucking heard of it? Maybe a worldwide pandemic that we just all lived through? It's only been like a month?" And he just looked at me like, "Nah, man, you don't have to wear that anymore." Listen, the point is, you cannot shame me for wearing a mask. You can't. I'm going to keep wearing it, and fuck you. How about that? Okay, well, today's guest is May Rio. She has a new album coming out. Go check it out. I put all the links in the description of the YouTube video. Go find her. Go listen to her music. She is based in New York. She had a group called Poppies before. Okay, May Rio has her solo debut album, Easy Bammer, out on the 25th. That's this Friday. This record comes out this Friday. So go check it out. We're very excited to have her on the podcast. And I don't know, maybe one of the few, maybe one of the last, maybe one of the last Zoomcasts we ever do. I'm getting, I think I found a way to edit these. I don't really like editing podcasts, but I'm realizing that there is a natural delay, a natural like Zoom, like just delay that makes it sound like we're having an awkward conversation, even though we're not. And I think I figured that I figured that out a little too late in the pandemic, where if I just edit just a little bit, if I could just edit these just a little bit, it will sound more natural. I figured it out in the honey episode. If you go back and listen to the honey episode, it moves. It's really fast. It's just like a normal conversation as if we're in the room together. And I think that really has to do with just me cutting out the awkwardness of my transmission heading over to their computer and them coming back to me. There's just a natural shitty delay on Zoom that doesn't really work for podcasts, but of course we had to do it because we were stuck at home and we did what we could. But now it's over, right? No, it's not. The pandemic isn't over, but in California, we are in a bubble and it feels like we're over here. But I know in the rest of the world, it's not over. So California feels over though. I feel good. I feel great. Okay, May Rio. Great time, great talk. Enjoy the episode, and hopefully I have a guest next week. But I'll see you soon. Come to the show in LA. Can't wait to be back. You doing okay?
Yeah. Yes. Doing well.
Have you? Okay, so it's 7:45 on the West Coast right now, and I never pictured myself like a real morning person like this. Like, I'm surprised actually it wasn't a struggle to wake up today. Are you a morning person? Is this something that's like a skill? I feel like it's a skill I've developed over time, because before I would never be caught dead up this early and recording a podcast and talking and being like in the mood to talk this early. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's I'm getting older. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm a semi-morning person, but I'm more like an 8 o'clock wake up than like a 6 o'clock wake up. And I still don't really want to talk to anyone in the morning. I like having my mornings they're like sacred to me. You know, I like
totally
make coffee and like write, and like it's just like a silent time. Yeah.
Cool. When you say write, are we talking music? Do you also write like in other forms?
I have kept a journal since I was a kid, so that's usually like what I do in the morning. Yeah.
Is there is there anything from the journal that makes it into the songs?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Maybe that's happened. I don't know. Yeah, it feels like I definitely don't do that to like inform the music writing or whatever. I just I don't know, if I don't like, you know, get my thoughts down and like organize them that way, I often have trouble just like understanding what I'm thinking.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah. I was just wondering, because I feel like people who write always can, you know, if you're always writing, then you can have like a little line, or maybe you can remember like what happened. Because at least for me right now, that's become the biggest problem in the pandemic, is that I do write a lot about my personal relationships and the things that happened to me, but in the pandemic nothing happened to me. I just kind of was home, and like I just don't want to write about the pandemic. I feel like that is so lame, unless I'm sure somebody else will find a way to do it, but I'm not that person. I am not going to find a cool way to write about the pandemic. I think. I don't know, how do you feel?
I also feel like we are so, at least I am, I just like don't want to hear about it anymore. Yeah. You know, it's like the only thing people have been talking about for the past year. And like, you know it's not like over or anything, but I just like need a break, you know?
Oh, yeah. At least in California, it feels very over. I don't know. It feels
wild. Over here too, but really? I know, like, you know, worldwide, it's definitely not over. And like, who knows what's going to happen later this year, but at least like for the summer, it's nice to just like think.
A little bit of relief.
To just like pretend that
it's
over. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just like a few months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. I keep reminding myself it's very important to remember that I'm in a bubble, and I'm in America where we handled it pretty well. We got the vaccines out, but I'm also in California, which is different than a lot of other states. Like I'm afraid to go play a show in like Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, where they're not taking it as serious. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just keep playing shows in California until things start looking good. I don't know.
Who the fuck knows?
Do you have any shows? Do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, I do. They're all like in this, I'm in New York, and it's all
Okay.
kind of like in this region. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm a little nervous. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
promote the dates. This will come
while.
out. This will come out next Tuesday. Promote the dates. What's coming out?
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. There's on July 9th, playing with my friends Turtlenecked and
Ooh.
Blake the Man 1000 at Jade Bar in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be fun. And then, fuck, I don't actually, let me check real quick.
It's okay.
I think July 28th, I'm going to play with Dan English at the Broadway. And that's also going to be really fun. So yeah, both of those are in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooklyn. Do you live in Brooklyn?
What?
Do you live in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
great.
in Bed-Stuy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've stayed there once. Yeah. I don't know. Are you from New York originally? Like, where are you originally from?
Yeah, I'm from Texas. Yeah.
Oh, what part of Texas?
Austin.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you been?
Yeah, I've been to Austin. I did the South by thing, and then I did.
Right.
I played some other, off shows. Just going through on tour. What was it like growing up in Austin?
Okay, here's what I have to say about Austin.
Okay.
It was great growing up there. It was really it was great. But it's like a completely different place now.
Right.
So I mean, when I was growing up there, it was always growing, but it was a pretty slow and steady growth. And I mean, this is just happening with so many cities, but just in the last 10 years, it's been just this astronomical growth. And it's been the fastest growing city in the States a few years in a row. And now especially this past year, it's becoming more techie, but now Elon Musk is moving his shit there. And it's just it's really unrecognizable. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But the Austin I grew up in was super funky. And I try not to mourn it too hard and not take it too personally, but I definitely do.
Totally.
I do kind of miss it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of shows growing up? I guess I'm assuming there's lots of music and lots of places to play. Did you find that?
Yeah, Austin calls itself the live music capital of the world. Everyone who's from there will tell you that's what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't super. I went to a pretty boring high school, and there were only maybe a handful of people who played music at my high school. So I mean, I would go to shows, bigger shows, touring artists when I was in high school. I'd go see Santa Gold or whatever. But I feel like I only vaguely was part of this more DIY younger music scene. There was one band from our high school that we would pretty much just go see all their shows, just because I think it wasn't even so much about the music. It was just really fun
to
supporting them.
Yeah. Oh, I've noticed that. I think in some cities like Chicago and Austin, they rally behind a band and they're this is our band. We love this band. And I think that is so cool and so unique. And I don't think that happens everywhere. I don't think that happens anywhere, really, especially in LA and in California. No one cares. You're just another band from LA. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there still that sense
a lot of bands out there.
Do you feel that sense of community?
What?
Do you feel that same sense of community in New York?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel a very strong sense of community in New York. But I think part of that is I do just go to a lot of shows,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people expect to move to a new city and just kind of stumble upon a scene or whatever. But you have to be active in it in order to be a part of it. I mean, that sounds so redundant, but I hope what I just said makes sense.
I promise you, those are the DMs I'm getting. the questions to this podcast and the DMs that I'm getting is like, hey, I just moved to this town. What do I do? How do I book a show? How do I get...
You have to be just like active.
Yeah.
You have to go to shows and be like into what's going on. Yeah.
Totally.
So
cool. So I guess you have a new record coming out next week.
Yeah.
Are you excited? What can you tell us about this record? It's coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm super excited.
When did you work on it?
I can tell you that it's it's funny. It's been a super quick turnaround. Like this whole solo project, actually, it hasn't even existed for a year.
Oh.
At this point. Yeah. So I mean, it all came together during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, what can I say?
It was just you and somebody else, right? A producer?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Me and Tony One from this band, Tony or Tony. They're also in New York.
Sweet.
And kind of a newer band also. Check them out.
Yeah. And so it was just both of you. How different was this compared to working with a band, like with a drummer, a bass, and you guys are just jamming and writing songs? Like, what were some of those big differences and big learning curves you had to work with just working on with two people?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was completely different. With the band, there were some times when I would come into practice with a song that was, just fully written already. But for the most part, there is a lot of trying things out together and writing together. And obviously, with this, I just wrote all these songs on my own. Again, the timeline was very different. One thing that was cool about working with Tony One is basically what we would do. He has this really nice home studio, super good equipment.
Right.
But basically we would just I would go over there maybe once a week, and we would just spend all day working on a single song. So I'd bring a demo that I was ready to track for real, and that was really cool, and that made it so I could there were a couple of times I wrote a song and 2 days later we're recording it, which felt amazing because I don't know if anyone else can hear it, but for me when I hear those songs, they the energy just feels so fresh still.
Totally.
So that was one difference. I mean, really the entire experience, every aspect of it was different. Yeah.
Do you think there was more because the songs are so fresh and so new, that there was more editing, I guess, in changing of the songs, in the process of the recording? How much of there was that? Or were the songs these are the demos and this is what they are, let's record them like this, and yeah.
Yeah, it was more the second thing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
So it was nice because it was just a really I feel we worked very quickly, and not we weren't rushing anything, but it was just working in these quick, energetic, focused spurts. There was obviously we edited a little bit,
right.
but for the most part it wasn't
a big overhaul.
Yeah. And there wasn't really any overthinking anything. It was just all right, this is it.
Cool.
This is a song. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that adds to the freshness, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And then so at these next shows, you're gonna be playing new songs. You're gonna play all new songs, I guess, off this record, right? Is it? I guess it's a record release. Will there be vinyl? Will there be merch? What will be there at these shows?
There will not be vinyl.
Okay.
I think we have CDs made mainly for just radio stuff, but you can still buy them. For merch, I'm actually making some gibbets.
What's a gibbet?
Croc shoes, the charms. So that's a gibbet.
Oh.
So I've made some gibbets that I think we're gonna put online probably next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
That's
those
fun.
out of the box merch ideas, you know? Because everyone makes a shirt, you make a crew neck, you make a hat, but like, what's that weird out of the box idea? Like, I know you don't want to spoil it, but what's like, if you could, what would be the weirdest merch item on in your table? If you could, like, money's not an option. Let's just do something weird.
Oh God, I don't know. Do you have an answer to that question?
No, that's why I'm looking for them.
If I could do anything, I don't
Socks.
know.
Socks would be kind of
Yeah.
cool. A lot of people aren't doing socks.
Yeah, so I feel like socks would be a lot trickier to have made
Right.
than one would think. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just drawing a blank here.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a weird question. It's a question that's been on my mind recently as I think more and more about shows coming back and what the merch table's going to look like. And because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the way to make money now in a band is to sell merch and to sell tickets. I feel like there's not really a lot of money in streams in the actual music anymore. So,
Yeah, there's no money in streaming at
Right.
all. It's fucked up. It's like absurd.
it's it's super fucked up. And,
Yeah.
do you have any thoughts on like Spotify or any of that stuff? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Are you against it?
I mean, I use Spotify
Yeah.
because it's just so like ubiquitous now. Like it, you know, it would feel very like a lot of work to avoid using it. But I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of problems with Spotify.
Totally.
You know, like I'm sure you know like how much artists are paid per stream, but I'll just like say it here, you're paid less than a third of a cent
Right.
per stream, which is just like insane, you
Yeah.
know. And like they make so much money, and the, you know, the artists that are the reason why they can have a business to begin with, they like aren't like basically not compensated.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like owning a
So-
grocery store but not
Yeah.
paying for the product. You know, you
Yeah.
even at a grocery store, you
Yeah.
have to pay at cost what it costs to hold the cheese, to hold the milk, to hold these vegetables. Where are the vegetables? Where the milk? Where the cheese?
Yeah.
And we don't get
Yeah.
anything. It's just like, what the fuck? It's crazy. You're better off working at Spotify, like in a marketing position, than you are just being the product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very high paying salary jobs.
Yeah.
And it's also just funny because I mean, like music is so important to people to the point where I feel like people just kind of think of it as what's the word I'm looking for? It's just kind of like a right, you know? Like it's just kind of like a basic right to have
Yeah, to
access
have music.
to music. Yeah. Which I understand that. But it is just funny. Yeah, artists should be paid for
Yeah.
all that they do, basically, you know?
I think Spotify is good in the sense that it kind of stopped illegal downloading. Like, who really downloads MP3s anymore? That has come and
Right.
gone. They just that they just need to pay us more. Like, I don't hate Spotify
there-
because
there
it's
is
great.
a-
It's a great way
yeah.
to discover new songs. But it's just, you gotta give us more than that. I think everything else is fine about it, I guess.
Yeah. Yuma is like the Musicians Alliance, and they have a streaming committee, and they're fighting
Cool.
really hard right now to
That's
bump
awesome.
it up to just get like paid a cent per stream, which is so incredibly low, but it's, you know, it's like more than triple like what's happening now. So I'm hoping that's
Totally.
gonna happen.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, did you do Patreon or anything like that in the pandemic?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
I did for a little bit, and it was fun. It was like something to do, right? Because I didn't have a job. I was on unemployment, and I was like, well, I need to do something. Like, and I guess that was pretty good. It kind of gave me a purpose during the week. But now that things are opening up, and I just got a job, I'm like, I don't know, Patreon. I don't know.
What were you doing on your Patreon?
I was
Like,
doing
what were you like offering?
I was doing DJ mixes. Like, I DJ like on my spare time, which is something I'm doing now in public again, which is kind of crazy. And I was also breaking down demos, like some demos for old songs, and then telling stories. It was like a podcast, but I didn't like record the video. I just did the audio, and then shouting out people on the podcast, which was fun, but like also hard to remember everyone's name. And I was like, I don't know. And I feel like, is that enough? Is that enough for $5 a month? Like, is that providing enough value? I don't know. I see it's this whole like second guessing yourself, like when you're on Patreon. Am I doing enough? Is this worth it? Like, is this enough entertainment? But I don't know. I guess it is. I don't know. If people signed up, then they must have guessed it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a shame because making music in itself is already just so much. It's just so much.
I know.
You know? It's so much time and energy and like work, and you know, you're like really like putting your like soul into it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that should be enough, you know? You shouldn't have to. It's like if you want to do all this extra stuff and it's like fun, then like great, but I do feel like a lot of people are feeling like they need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. And I think, I don't know, I'm nervous. Like, there's a part of me that, like, I was like, all this infrastructure we built within, like, say, the live stream community of, like, setting up live streams, trying to figure out how to make live streams sound good. Part of me thinks, oh, that was all for nothing because we're going to go back to, hopefully go back to normal, and I'll never do a live stream again. Like, but then I read something on Twitter the other day that was like, what if you could play a show, right? Like you're playing on the 19th, you said? Go ahead.
9th, yeah. But yeah,
the 9th,
go on.
yeah,
Sorry.
okay. You're playing on the 9th in New York. Say you play a show and the venue is live streaming your show, so I could still see it in California. There could be something there, right? You charge $10 or $5 at yours, and then it's like half price for the live stream. That way you're still making double revenue, and me in California could see you in New York. I don't know. Maybe that's something in the future coming up. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, the future is so unpredictable.
Oh my God.
We've learned.
I haven't done a podcast in 2 weeks, so now I'm unloading every thought I've ever had in the last 2 weeks on you.
Oh, please.
And I do apologize. Okay.
Put away. Yeah.
Oh, man. Have you had any thoughts? What have you been thinking about the last, 2 weeks?
The last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What have I been thinking about? Yeah, I mean, like the album is coming out next week, and I guess I've been just pretty busy with that. Yeah, I'm obviously really excited, but I'm also looking forward to just kind of chilling out and letting my head be a little empty for a moment. One thing that just happened, this has nothing to do with music.
I'm ready.
This was definitely on my mind the last couple of weeks. Is I actually this past weekend I went back to Austin for my high school reunion.
Oh, 10-year?
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that?
Okay, so I have been obsessed with this idea of going back since graduation. I just thought it would be such a bizarre experience, and so many people I went to school with, I've always been in the same school district, so so many people I've known since we were 4 years old, you know. So I figured even if I didn't talk to anyone, just seeing the physical transformations would be just
enough,
wild. Yeah, and then I have a bunch of friends from high school still, but none of them would go with me. But anyway, it was cool. I was expecting just this really sort of trippy mindfuck experience, and I was surprised that it was just genuinely super pleasant.
That's awesome.
So anyway, that's been on my mind, I guess.
I did not go to mine.
Yeah.
And the next weekend I saw people from high school and they're like, why didn't you go? I was like, I don't care that much. Really, no, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, it wasn't like that. It wasn't everyone sizing each other up and what are you doing now? And we're all struggling. So It wasn't even like that. I was like, oh, okay. Because that's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, you guys are so successful.
No one really even like asked, like, you know, there was no like, so what do you do now? You know, it was more just like, hey, like, it's really nice to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think if I would have heard that, I would have went to mine. Because I didn't want to answer and be like, I'm still, remember me? I was in that band in high school, and I'm still in that band in high school, you know? Like, I'm still that guy. Like,
well, there's always the 20-year that you can go to.
I feel like the 20-year is even more now. I know. Because now I'll be 40.
What?
I feel like it'll be even more important. I'll be 38, and I'll be like, I'm still that guy in the band. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't predict that far. I don't know where I'll be at 38, but yeah, I don't know. I'm scared.
I feel like being that guy in the band is like a totally decent thing to be.
Yeah, totally.
So,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the people I went to high school with, like, I still, like, there's also, I don't know, like, the first couple years after high school, we were all on Facebook. So I saw everyone's progression. But now that I'm off of Facebook and I don't follow them on Instagram or on other platforms, I really do not know what people are doing now. So it'd actually be kind of interesting to see everyone again, because I don't see them anymore, because no one posts on fucking Facebook like we used to in the early 2010s. Like, now I really don't.
And also,
see
it's just interesting. Like, people change,
right?
You know, and it's just interesting to see that. Yeah, there were a couple people. I mean, I was like painfully shy in high school, and I like fully expected that like I was just going to revert back into that. Like, I was expecting a very uncomfortable experience. But yeah, that ended up like not happening, which was cool. But that's all to say, there were a bunch of people that I'd actually like never even talked to in high school, and we did end up talking, and I was just like, wow, like, you're so cool, like, you're such a badass, and like, I never would have known, you know?
Yeah, I think high school was a crazy time. And you said you were shy. What was that point of you breaking that, or what was that moment? Was it playing music that broke that for you? Because it broke it for me.
It did.
Yeah.
Like playing shows broke it for you?
Yeah.
Or just like having the confidence of picking your own thing, playing shows?
Playing the actual shows. Yeah, is getting in front of people. Even if it was a couple people, I was like, oh my God. And now I'm like, oh, this is great. It feels really great to be in front of people.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a moment overcoming it, really. It was just like this gradual, I think, you know, living in New York, I just feel more comfortable living here, and like, yeah, and more comfortable with myself, I guess. And yeah, it's definitely been a process. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for the shy people listening, what's the process?
I think one thing you can do if you're shy is you can get a service job, and that'll just be like beat out of you. You just can't be shy if you're like, dealing with like a few hundred people a day.
I think about the service people all the time right now. I'm like, you guys had the worst job, and I know a lot of you couldn't quit, and it's so brutal. Like, I don't know. I just think
it is crazy. I know. So many problems with the way.
So with your other project, Poppies, like, is there another record coming for that project as well?
So we have an album that's fully done and mastered and everything. But the band is actually no longer together. And I don't know what's going to happen with the album. I would really like it to come out, even if it is just like a self-release. But that's like a big TBD. Don't know what's going to happen there.
See, this is why I liked just being myself, or like just like being the single brand, I guess, of a band that like, I'm not going to break up. No, I'm just going to be me. And I see that's what you're doing now with yourself.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I'm having fun doing this.
Cool. That's awesome. Are you gonna play solo at this next show, or are you gonna try and build a band, like at some point another band, but as May Rio instead of?
I think what I want to do is just keep it very loose, and I think I want all the shows to kind of be like different iterations. So like, I've been playing around with just like, you know, messing around with the stems for shows, and
with like a computer.
I think I just want to like. Yeah, and just like Ableton Live. But I think just want to keep it just super like open and flexible.
Cool.
And not ever think of it as like something I've like fully figured out, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How is that working with the computer? I've never done that.
It's cool. I
Really?
mean, I am still like relatively new to Ableton. I downloaded it like last year. Like that's how this kind of started. Is they were doing this like 6 months long free trial, and so I downloaded it. So it's there's definitely like a big learning curve, and especially like I'm not a computer person at all.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point now where like I have the basics down. I'm still like figuring out like how to go beyond that. But
Yeah.
I am at a point where like I can see like, what Ableton is capable of, even if I'm not fully like fluent with using it yet. So it's really cool like what you can do.
Right.
And I'm very excited to like use it for live sets. Yeah.
Are you ever afraid that the computer's gonna shut down or something bad's gonna happen? Like, that's my immediate fear. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know how to troubleshoot this. Like, I'm fucked.
Yeah, I guess I've never know that.
Oh no, don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Yeah, but I mean, guitars stop
Amps,
working,
yep,
and
yep.
pickups,
Yep.
anything can just stop. Your voice can give out.
Yep.
Nothing is completely dependable.
Yeah, that's true. Everything can break at some point. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That would just be my biggest fear. Well, no, not my biggest fear, but like another concern of like, I'm not very good at pedals. I feel like I'm not great at pedals. I feel like that's like another instrument, like being able to tap on time and here's my new sound. Like, I feel like I would have the same thing with the computer. I'd be like fidgeting with the computer, but now I'm worried about singing, and now I'm worried about the computer, and now I'm worried about singing. Like, I don't know. Maybe you should have a DJ. Maybe someone who just pushes play for you.
I've considered it. My friend Nino, who is in this really great band called Blood, from Austin, but they just moved to Philly. Anyway, he really wants to be like my DJ bodyguard.
Yes.
Like show up in a suit for the show and be like protecting me even if like no one's actually like coming up at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see if that idea comes to fruition.
Nice. Here's something we've been talking about at work. I work at a pickup company, and we're talking about women and guitars and their relationship with guitars and how not just women, but nobody likes walking into a Guitar Center, right? So how did you get in the guitar? How did you buy a guitar? Like, what was your experience doing that? I'd love to hear your take on that.
Yeah. I like how I got into making music initially was like I went to school in Providence, and there was this pawn shop there, and I got a Yamaha acoustic guitar. So that was kind of like the first. And yeah, it was just like teaching myself. And I mean, personally, my like relationship to guitar, I'm like definitely a perfectionist, which is like really not a good thing.
Right.
It basically means that I don't want to practice something unless I'm like good at it already, which is like not the meaning of practicing. Yeah. But so, I mean, it took me a long time to just kind of get over that and like put in the time to like properly, start like practicing regularly. Guitar is a very intimidating instrument to me still. I mean, I'm still I'm at a point now where like I can play, and it's still, I don't really know any like music theory, and I know there's like, there's just so much to it. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of really ugly sort of like dude culture surrounding guitars, and like a lot of subliminal messages that this isn't really for you. And I have 100% had that like super shitty Guitar Center experience. And if something like that happens, like I will call it out.
Right.
But yeah.
Totally. I heard something really interesting that like up until 1999, there was a mandate at Guitar Center that when a woman came in to buy a guitar, they would ask, "Who are you buying this for?" Up until
Oh my God.
1999. That's bad.
I mean, yeah, just a couple of years ago, we were on tour and there was some like issue with my amp basically, but we had to like buy a new amp on the road. So I I go in with my bandmate, and you know, he's just like there because like otherwise he's just gonna be like sitting in
the
this
van.
like
Yeah.
yeah. So like I go in, I'm the one with the guitar, like I'm the one who's shopping for an amp. I'm the one who is like plugging it in and like, you know, trying it out and like seeing how these different sounds are. And this fucking sales dude, like whenever he says anything about the amp, he says it to my bandmate and not at me.
Oh.
It was
That's
infuriating.
So bad. That's so bad.
Yeah, and I had to buy it because, you know, like I needed this amp for the tour. But yeah, when we were checking out, like I told him, like, by the way, you did this and it's like not okay.
And what'd they say?
So he was just like, no, no, you know, like he was a little caught off guard, but
oh my God.
You know.
It's good. We should as allies, as women, as men, like we should be making people feel uncomfortable when they do shitty shit. Like, it's not our fault. It's I feel like that happens to me all the time. I just have to suck it up. I'm like, okay, that was weird. That person just did this, but like, fuck it. I think at this point, coming out the other side of the pandemic, we need to make people feel uncomfortable. Like, and maybe that will change something.
And you don't have to be like, you're an asshole, like blah blah blah. But you can just like point out, like, you know,
that
objectively,
you
just did this. Yeah. So yeah.
That's why I see those headlines that Guitar Center is like going bankrupt. I'm like, okay, sure. That sucks for the people working, but like, I don't know. Yeah. I get it. Like, I don't know.
They are like the best rental.
Yeah.
Store.
Yeah, that's for sure. Did you return that amp? I guess we could say. I don't know.
I didn't return that amp, but we definitely did that a few times for tours. Like, you know, getting like a backup like bass like rig or something. Yeah.
Well, now the new one's Amazon. Amazon Rentals, the unofficial rental company of Amazon. Yeah. Amazon makes pedals. Have you tried any of those? I just heard about this.
No, I haven't heard of that.
They make like very like generic looking pedals for like $25 each. It's pretty wild.
Huh.
Yeah. So
I'm also not a big pedal person.
Yeah,
I'm not like a gearhead in general.
Yeah. What I guess you'll be playing with a computer, but like are you gonna at least have a guitar on stage with you too to play along to the stems, or?
I think it really just depends on the show. I think there will be some shows when it's just the stems. Sometimes I want to have a guitar, sometimes I want to have a synth, sometimes both. Sometimes I think it'd be fun to have a friend or two come play with me.
Totally.
I think maybe for some shows it would be cool to assemble a band.
That's that freedom. Yeah. That's like total freedom of like, I want to do whatever. Yeah. I'm going to do whatever. My next album might even sound different than this record. Like, it's just like, that's what I like about it. That's true artistic expression. It's just having the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Well, awesome. We have hit the 40-minute mark. I know you have to go, so I just wanted to say thanks for being on. And how can people support you right now? What's the best way for people to support your project?
Let's see. Yeah, just like listen, I guess. Okay. And if you like it, share it with friends.
Yeah. You
can get some gibbets if you desire. And yeah, I guess like one thing you can do for any artist, I think, like in this age of just like constant streaming, is just like really like actively listening, you know? It's so easy to just like have things on all the time, like sort of in the background, but that's a really good thing to do for anything.
What about YouTube? You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love music videos and have put out a couple now. There's a couple more coming. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, sweet.
That's there. Okay. Cool. Thanks so much for having me on.
Awesome. So it sounds good. Have a good rest of your Friday. It's Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. And see you soon.
Cool. Thanks so much.